Hello, this is Dr. Young, and I'm going to go over your week 4 assignments. We're going to talk about communication this week. We're going to really focus on that and leadership styles. And then we're going to talk about the use of teams as well. Make sure to read your lectures here carefully. Now, as you know, for our discussions, we're going to go ahead and, we're going to pretty much follow the same format for our discussions the whole term. If you're getting feedback that your discussions are too short, not posted on different days, and responses don't have supporting sources, make sure that you pay careful attention to that this week. Remember, if you pull up the grading rubrics for these assignments, each one is going to need to have you need 2 responses to each student. I'm sorry, that's not right. 2 responses for the week. 1 response to me because I'll post a follow-up question. And your responses need to have sources to support them, and they need to be posted on 3 different days. That's just your responses. That doesn't include the initial post. So it's not the 3 different days including the initial post. It is your initial post by Saturday, and then 3 responses, 2 to your classmates, 1 to me, on 3 different days. That is how you get the maximum grade. To make sure that you do respond to what I post to you. Okay, so for your discussion, you're going to respond to the following questions. You're going to respond to these. Describe in detail an experience working with teams in or outside your workplace. You're going to do that, and then explain in detail and provide examples of the advantages and challenges of working in teams. Then you can respond to any 2 of these. So there's 4 additional bullets here, but you only have to respond to 2 of them. Okay, so it's up to you which ones, but 2 of these. So 2 here, 2 here. It's just here there's only 2 available, so you have to respond to these. But for these you can choose. And when you're posting your discussion in your initial post, make sure there's a final paragraph that kind of concludes everything, summarizes it. Okay, so that's your discussion. For your project, you need to address the following. It is a 2 to 3 page report in Microsoft Word. It does not include the title or reference page. So what you're going to do is focus more on communication in this assignment. And you're going to select a manager and analyze their strengths and their weaknesses in communication. Please provide evidence of that, either behavior, whether they're doing a really good job and you want to talk about a situation. Make sure that you have, you can back that up. Don't just say, yeah, my manager is a great communicator. Why do you think that? What events led you to believe that? Maybe there's a specific situation you can describe. Same for the weaknesses here. However, when you're writing these out, I also want to see course concepts weaved into that. Example, I have this manager. This manager is a great communicator. But here's a situation where this manager communicated to us well. This is very vague because I don't want to give you a real example that I'm going to see in a paper. I want your information to be original. But what I want to see is if you're going to provide a scenario where this manager communicated well and had strong skills, then I want you to take what you've learned in your reading, concepts and theories, and apply it to that manager. For example, this manager is a successful communicator. Here's why, and here's the theory or concept that he espoused during this situation. That is what I like to see in your paper. I want to see you describe, basically what you're doing is you're analyzing a manager, their communication style, offering rationale for your opinion on that communications or on that manager's communication style, and then the type of theories that are being applied by this manager when they're demonstrating their communication, whether it's effective or ineffective. Because here you're going to talk about two scenarios. Does not have to be, actually it does need to be the same manager. So make sure that you can think of someone who, you've seen them do well and you've seen them fail in that area of communication. So got to think of someone. Could be a current manager, past manager, somebody you know that's a manager, somebody that you researched and you know enough about them that you can provide all the information I just went over. But it does need to be the same manager. Defend 2 to 3 recommendations for management performance improvement. So this is where you're going to draw from the concepts you've learned. This is what heavily. Definitely want to talk about theories, concepts that we cover here this week for this area. Assess the organizational culture in which the manager works, which this manager works. Okay, so talk about the culture overall and how that might affect his or her behavior and communication style, which it could. You might have a very open culture. You might have a very strict authoritarian culture, your hierarchical culture. You might have so that's what I want to hear about in number 4. So that's really all for this paper. It seems like a lot, and there's a lot you could cover. I will say this could be a long paper. I think it could, especially if you have scenarios that are in depth when you're discussing a certain situation that made you think that this manager had strong communication skills, or weak ones, that you could really get into a lot of detail. Try to keep it within this range, but if you go a little over, I'm okay with that. I'm more concerned of too short. I get papers that are half the length that they need to be, and then so those papers aren't going to really cover what we need to, it's not going to have enough depth in it. So make sure that you're covering these. I would just write the paper with the mindset of, I'm going to cover this, and then I'm going to go back and edit maybe some things that I don't need if it goes way too long. So that's really all there is. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know, and I'll be happy to assist you. If you have any questions or concerns about the course so far, also let me know. I want to hear your feedback. And let's have a great week. Thanks.